Hey everybody, and welcome back to Things of Interest, a little series where I take a look at random but fascinating things from my collection, such as gaming accessories, novelty items, and the like. And for my next few videos, I'm probably gonna be doing some smaller scale videos. There are quite a few interesting things that I've gathered over the past few months that I would actually like to show off in a small video or two. So here's one of them. I've actually just went and picked this up today because this is actually pretty interesting. I've never owned something like this before. This is the Sunsoft Wide Boy, not to be confused with another peripheral that is commonly referred to as the Wide Boy. That was actually a peripheral for the Famicom that allowed you to play Game Boy cartridges on a television screen before the Super Game Boy and stuff came along. It was basically just a way for, like, you know, media or the press to take screenshots of games, but this is a different thing. This is actually a screen magnifier for the Game Boy. These are actually fairly common in the 90s, I think, because let me take the original Game Boy in. Here we go. And because, you know, the Game Boy had, you know, the original Game Boy had not the best screen. Let me turn it on. So, you know, it's got like a small little non-backlit green screen. Everybody probably already knows that. So basically, to combat this problem, there were different equipment manufacturers that made like screen magnifiers, and like they have built-in lights that can light up the screen, but usually just resulted in a ton of screen glare. And there are some officially licensed accessories, like the Light Boy from Nintendo. I'm pretty sure. I forgot who made that, but you know, it was officially licensed by Nintendo. And as for this one, this was made by Sunsoft. I only know these guys as developers that created the original Blaster Master. And I think looking at their portfolio on Wikipedia, they've made a bunch of different games, like some licensed games and stuff like that. But they also occasionally make accessories such as controllers, keyboards, and stuff. And this is one of them. And I think this is officially licensed by Nintendo. You can see they've got like the little Nintendo Game Boy logo on there. And you know, looking around, they've got like, you know, different. It doesn't explicitly say it's licensed by Nintendo, but seeing, you know, Sunsoft is I guess a pretty well-known developer at that time. I'm not sure, but it looks official enough. So, you know, there's that, and most of it is in like Japanese, but you know, you can see the specifications under here. So this is actually just a magnifier. It doesn't have a built-in screen or anything like that, but rather than the regular magnifier that you just clip onto the Game Boy and just magnifies the screen, you can actually, I'm pretty sure you can actually adjust the zoom level on this. I haven't actually opened this up. This is actually complete in box with the manual, so it'll be interesting to check this out. So here you can see it claims to magnify it by 2.8 times the original size. So let's see, maybe it will work. It'll probably work, as long as, like, you know, it's probably just a small little thing that does its job. Actually, you can see on here there's a screenshot of a Gremlins game, apparently, with the Warner Brothers copyright, because Sunsoft developed that game. They made quite a few licensed games. I don't know why they chose to, you know, use this screenshot, zoom up the text. I guess you can make it so that you can read the English text more easily, because this is for the Japanese market, whatever. But yeah, fairly normal packaging, so let's just open this up. It's actually a bit torn up over the edges. This is like missing some of the corners, but whatever. It's used, but you know, most of the stuff is still in there. So open it up. We got the manual. Yep, shows you how to put it on. You clip it on, and don't let the sun go through it and burn your Game Boy screen. Don't forcibly remove it. Wipe it with a cloth. And yeah, that's about it. And over here, we have the Wide Boy. Oh god. I don't know if you can see it. There's some like dust gathered on the bottom there. I might have to clean that out. 90s dust, I guess. Well, let's just take this out. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah, nothing else in this box, just says Wide Boy Sunsoft, and with those dust, I'll get rid of those off screen, whatever. We're done. Here's the unit itself. So this thing looks pretty straightforward. You just like clip it onto the Game Boy, I guess. You can adjust it by, let's see. You just pull it up? I'm not sure. Oh, so it uses these kinds of hinges, I see. I'm really hoping I don't break these. Okay. So that's like around the maximum height that this will extend to, I guess. Does it say here like how high it goes? I think it's around like 45 millimeters, I guess. I don't have a ruler with me right now, so I guess that's about it. And so let's just try putting this onto the Game Boy, I guess. Well, that was easy. So I guess the screen is magnified a bit now, I guess. You can it's still got like a cut through to see the power light. You can still access the contrast knob, the volume, and you know, link cable connector. I just noticed like on the top right corner on the inside, it just says for Game Boy. Like in case the worst Nintendo Game Boy on the bottom were enough to like assure you what system you're playing this on. Here you go, it's for Game Boy. Don't use it on anything else. Don't use it on a Game Gear. Don't use it on like a Virtual Boy or something. Alright, yeah, the hinges are a bit like weird to work with. They're kind of like a bit stuck in place, but you know, I got it working. Okay, so let's just turn it on and see how the screen looks. Why am I using the volume button, the power button? Why am I playing Game Boy Color? Alright, can you guys see this? Yeah, I'm sort of like seeing my reflection when I'm using the magnifying glass, whereas it probably wouldn't happen if I was just looking at the screen. So, you know, there's that. Just a mild little reflection of my face. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's a tad bit reflective. Let's just put in the game and see how it works. Of course, the quintessential Game Boy game, Super Mario Land. Okay, I have no idea how to make this work on camera. Let me see. Okay, honestly, this is a little bit hard to capture on camera, but because if I'm holding it at this angle, I can't see the screen myself. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to use the viewfinder, and I'm gonna die because I can sort of barely see the screen right now, but given that you have an adequate light source and you're like facing the screen head on, it kind of works. I mean, it's just a magnifying glass, really, so I'm not like expecting it to not work or something, but you know, it does its job. I guess I'll just like shut up a little bit so just I can like try to focus on playing the game and let you guys see the footage for yourselves. Yeah, to be honest, on camera, I'm just better off showing you just the plain Game Boy screen without all the screen glare and stuff like that. But to be honest, the White Boy, like, does what it says on the tin, you know? It magnifies your screen. You can choose how much you want to magnify it for. As long as you have lights and you don't mind seeing a mild reflection of your face, it works pretty well. And to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this particular accessory. I know there's like the Light Boy, which is sort of licensed by Nintendo. And there's also like the freakishly made shaped Handy Boy, which kind of like sap feeds on your Game Boy's batteries to become like this kind of like Frankenstein of a handheld gaming unit. But you know, this is a small little humble little screen magnifier made by a game developer out of all things, Sunsoft. You know, it's a pretty interesting thing to look at and to just, you know, leave a footnote about. Just, you know, hey, this thing existed at once, I guess. This is pretty neat. You know, when you actually manage to like fold this down, I'm not sure if there's like a better way to do it. Just kind of like push on the hinges and try to get this thing to like fold down. But you know, when it's folded down, it's pretty portable, as long as you don't care about scratching your lens. And you know, if you want to use it on your Game Boy, you just poof, pop it on. Did I pop it in the right way? I don't think I did. But I think you just install it, like you just pop it on the Game Boy, and you know, you get a zoomed in screen on the go. Don't have to like, you know, install additional batteries, plug it into like an AC adapter, or you know, do like what the Handy Boy does and like you have to go through the battery contacts and just like put little pieces of metal out there, and then you worry about if your Game Boy is going to explode because of all you've done. But you know, this is just a screen magnifier. It does its job, and you know, no frills, little portable little screen magnifier. So it's a neat little thing, you know. I might not use it that much, but you know, I don't think I have a lot of accessories for the original Game Boy, so I'll definitely, you know, keep this in my collection for now. It's a neat little thing. And with that, thank you for watching this episode of Things of Interest. I know a lot of you guys are pretty interested in like obscure gaming stuff, so hopefully in the future I'll be back pretty soon with more neat little fascinating accessories, controllers, what have you to cover. So look forward to seeing that, and I'll catch you guys next time. MVBBY. Oh my god, look at that.